Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I am your host today, Jared Timms, and I am joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate, welcome to reopening day for the Angels. They take on the Yankees. You know what I'm doing there?
Yeah. Spring training's over.
Spring training's over now. Reopening day for the Angels. You get to see Noah Syndergaard on the bump against the Yankees. First off, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. The alma mater is going to Louisville and playing in the Louisville region. So Congrats to them.
South Northern New Mexico State. Congratulations.
Yes. So congrats to them. They got a tough regional, Louisville, Michigan, and Oregon. So that'll be a fun one for them. That'll be good for them. So cool.
Even better than that, Westmont got knocked out of the NAIA World Series. Yep. So, I mean, just cherry top there.
0-2 barbecue.
Game.
0-2 barbecue. That's fine with me.
Cool with me, too. Sorry, Mikey Stefanik. Do appreciate it, though. But, yeah, hey, have some fun with it. You never know about the College World Series. That's the fun part about it. 64 teams. It's not like basketball. It's not like football where, the best team probably is going to win. That one seed against a 16 seed. You could face a good pitcher any given day and, he can just shove it.
The number one overall seed has not won in a long time, and people are saying that this could be the year the curse is broken because Tennessee has been that good. But I don't know. You really never know. Like you get into game 4 or 5 on a weekend and you get beat. Anything can happen. So
speaking of Tennessee, by the way, just go ahead and look at anybody on Tennessee that the Angels, could take them in the first round. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, for those of you curious about the draft, turn on a regional. There's going to be a guy on, probably one of the 4 teams, multiple guys in a regional that could be first, second round picks. So if you are interested in the draft, I would watch a lot, mostly hitters, not too many pitchers early, at least in the college realms, but there are a lot of good hitters that are going to be available and very high draft picks. So
absolutely. And we'll talk draft. We'll bring Taylor Blake Ward on, you know how that works. We'll talk about it. But let's go ahead and preview this series here real quick. Quick one. I know we got a lot of questions to go over, a lot of complaining that still has left to be done. Let's see. You go Syndergaard. Who is it? Syndergaard Lorenzen? No.
Syndergaard,
Detmers, Ohtani. Wow, I'm off.
That's correct.
I don't know why I couldn't think about it. Yep. And then the Yankees throw out Montgomery, Cortez, and Tyon for that. What do we got here? Quick picks on this one.
Yankees win 2 out of 3. Thor throws a gem back in New York and gets the dub. That's the one they win.
I'm going to stick with it. I said it on halfway around the Halo today with the boys from the UK. I think the Angels are going to sweep it. I think the Angels are going to go in there and have a kind of a chip on their shoulder again. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like there's something a little different, especially going in New York. It's always a fun series. So I think they're going to go in there and take it to them. So I don't know what's our rule on halfway in between, because, we've had that a couple times where we haven't.
I don't know. I think if they win, yeah, I think if the Angels win the series, you'll win. And if the Yankees win the series, I'll win. Is that good?
Yeah, okay. That works for me. I think the Angels are going to take it to them. I really do. I know the Yankees are a good team, and the Angels have had a tough time beating good teams. But I think, again, at the end of the day, just stay 500 baseball until July 30th.
Yankees coming off that tough trip to Tampa Bay. I think they're going to come home hungry, and that's the one thing that worries me is, they've got their ace, Nestor Cortez, your guy, who's not an ace. But
Garrett Cole isn't pitching, but all right,
I know. He's not. So – but I do like the way the rotation sets up for the Yankees. They have it set up pretty well where, the game they shouldn't, probably is going to be the toughest for them to win. They have probably their worst of the 3 starters pitching. So it sets up good for them that way. The biggest thing is, can Shohei Ohtani pitch well in New York? I mean, we haven't really seen it yet. If he does throw well, then the Angels are going to win 2 out of 3. If the Yankees grind out ABs and hit home runs, which – They do. The Yankees do hit home runs, and Ohtani does give up some home runs. That is going to be an issue. So that's the one thing that I'm looking forward to see Ohtani pitch again in New York. So,
yep, I agree. So it comes down to Ohtani. So we'll see how that works out. Again, it's always fun to see the Angels in New York. There's that past history there, and just a lot of fun. So let's get on to some fan mail, if that's okay with you. First question comes from a friend of the show. Just kidding. He's part of the show, John Jaggs Crane. Come on, John. You got to you got to text me. Get back on here. Come on, man. He wants to know, his question, I guess it's more of a comment here. Joe Madden has a far superior roster than either Scioscia or Osmus had to work with during their final year of their 10 years. Do you think our record today would be comparable with either of the latter managers?
I would say Scioscia would have the same record, maybe a little better. I'm not a big Brad Osmus believer. I think that he is a bottom tier manager. So I think the Angels probably would be in a worse situation with Brad Osmus, honestly. And, that's just because I don't think he presses the right buttons ever. At least Joe Madden does press the right buttons. Sometimes it just happens to be he didn't press the right buttons 4 days in a row, 5, 6 days in a row. And, people are really magnifying the Joe Madden needs to go thing right now. So I think Scioscia and Madden are pretty comparable as managers, So I think that the records would be close. Maybe Scioscia has a couple more wins, but I think Joe and Scioscia do pretty much the same thing.
I'm going to stick with my answers that I've always gone with about managers and say that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. However, we've seen this in the past. I'm not a huge believer in the Joe Madden bullpen experience. That's what we want to call it. But, I mean, again, you said it as well. These guys are getting paid a lot of money. They need to perform under certain situations. So there's a reason why there is not managerial war. There's a reason why there are not managerial stats. Right?
I've always wanted that. There is a managerial stat. Wins and losses. But
I mean,
you've always wanted war. You've always wanted it. So I think you're probably in the same boat as me. The records are probably pretty close because the talent is the same. The only thing is maybe Brad Osmus doesn't press the right buttons as much, but you're a bigger Brad Osmus guy than I am. So maybe you think all three of them have similar records.
I don't know. I think it comes down to not the bullpen, but I think it comes down to the, who can get the most out of their players. And Joe Madden does a fantastic job of getting the most out of his players. And so does Scioscia. We haven't seen Osmus enough. We have the track record in Detroit that we know, he had a good team there. They just couldn't win
one of the best teams of all time.
Yeah. One of the best pitching staffs of all time.
Couldn't win a playoff series.
I get it. Yes. I don't know. It's tough. I don't think managers have too much to play into it, but then again, they do have a lot to play in it. So I don't know. I say Scioscia. I say like Madden and Scioscia are tied, and then you go to Osmus. I think that Osmus is just a lesser manager, not as much as you say, but I do think that.
So we're on the same page. You just don't want to say it as.
I think with Osmus, they're like a 500 team. So five wins less.
That's still not good, but that's still not good. But all right, what do we got? What's next?
Gotcha. Next question comes from Bucky21. Should the Angels bring back Joe Adell instead of putting in players that aren't outfielders and are far past their prime? I think we know our answer on this one, Nate.
So I totally agree that the Angels need to be having outfielders play the outfield, but I don't think Joe Adell needs to be playing or needs to be in the big leagues if he's not playing. That's my biggest thing is if you want him to continue to develop and get better, the only way Joe Adell is going to get better in the outfield is by playing the outfield every day. And if we have heard a lot of angry fans talk about how bad Joe Adell has been in the outfield, which, he deserves it the way he's played out there, sadly. He's not going to get better out there sitting on the bench 4 days and playing 2 games a week. It's just not going to help him. So I think that maybe there is an outfielder in free agency or on the trade market who you can go get who will make the Angels better than Juan Lagares. I do think that. But I don't think Joe Adell is the answer because I just think it makes the Angels worse in the future. You agree?
Yes. No, I do. I think that Adell needs time in the outfield to become a better outfielder. However, if we had it our way, and we know what our answer is if we had it our way, Taylor Ward would be playing second base or even third base right now, I think.
Well, yeah, third base right now, it makes total sense to put him at third base.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's for the time being. Put him at third base. You put your best lineup in there. You put Joe Adell in. You have him play every day.
The one thing I will say, putting Taylor Ward at third base is it could mess with him a little bit. Like, oh man, I have to go back to trying to figure out how to play another position, and it could hurt him offensively for a little bit. It might take him an extra couple days to figure it out. Not saying that's going to be a big deal for him, but it could be a minor thing for a couple weeks. It would be nice to see Taylor Ward learn second base because that is a big hole.
Yes.
It would be awesome. Honestly, it would make the Angels, it would allow the Angels the best 9 in their lineup to hit every single day.
Absolutely. You could go and you can bring Joe Adell up if you put Ward at second base, or hell, even platoon him with Walshy there over at first base. Have Ward hit lefties, play first base, a little bit of first base, let him play the outfield, let him play some second base. I'm all for that. I think that's not a bad idea. And let Tyler Wade do his thing, which is be that good fifth infielder, be that good fourth outfielder type of guy.
I shouldn't be a fourth outfielder, but yeah.
I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like, play every position, but not start. Like how we want David Fletcher to be, how we want Matt Duffy to be, how we want Andrew Velasquez has been damn good at shortstop. So like that's kind of a different. I think I can put Andrew Velasquez kind of in a different case.
Still would like a better shortstop.
Yes.
So
we've wanted somebody that can just pick it. That's
we have, and that's what we've gotten, and that's why the Angels are over 500 right now. So
yeah. So long answer short, I'd love to see Joe Adell back up because I think that he provides more, than what Juan Lagares does and what some other guys do. If you put Ward at second base, which isn't going to happen. But fantastic question. Thank you for that one. Next one comes from our good pal, D. Ochoa 8831. Could Adell learn first base? Got a lot of Adell questions. Got some good ones.
Everyone wants Joe Adell back in the bigs. Absolutely, he could learn first base. I don't know if it makes the Angels better. Honestly, yes, Jared Walsh can't hit lefties. Like, we have figured that out. That is not his strong suit. He probably should have a platoon partner for, the foreseeable future for him, and just mash righties, come off the bench against a good right-handed reliever. But anytime we see a lefty, unless it's, a soft toss lefty that he can, hit.
Aroldis Chapman?
Yeah, probably shouldn't see Aroldis Chapman ever. Maybe a Marco Gonzalez type of guy. Maybe. And even that, I'm still a little skeptical. But I think Joe Adell could learn first base. For those of you who think first base is easy to learn, it is incredibly difficult. Just watch Moneyball.
All right, Ron Washington.
Yeah, Ron Washington had to bring it up. But seriously, it's not something that you can just pick up. You can take notes from Justin Upton this spring training. He did not look comfortable at first base. He had supposedly been working on first base the whole offseason. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what we've been told. And, when you saw him at spring training, he looked lost. So that is not going to be a quick fix for Joe Adell. It's not going to be like, oh, hey, we'll let you play first base for a week in AAA. And boom, you're in the bigs. You'll play right field. You'll play first base, and we'll just move you all around. So, yes, he can, but it's not something he's going to learn in the middle of the season while he's still trying to figure out how to hit big league pitching and play a defensive position. So I think for Joe Adell, honestly, the best thing for him is to just play whatever position. It's probably right field, whatever position he's going to play in the big leagues, and play that position as much as possible so it gives him a chance in the big leagues. Because if he's going to continue to switch center field, left field, right field, and first base, just go all over the place, it is going to make it really hard for him to get comfortable. And that is the biggest thing for him, is he's got to be comfortable in his environment.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to, he's athletic enough to go do that stuff. I don't think that it could happen. He's definitely athletic enough to go do it. So we're going to get more Joe Adell questions. I can already tell. I haven't read these questions, to be honest, either. I just let people answer them, and I'll scroll through them and answer them one by one. The DHO also wants to know what we would do with the bullpen with these issues. If we were Perry Minasian, which I don't think Perry is too much of a – I don't know. What do you got?
Get one more guy.
Yeah, no, go get one more guy. But
yep.
So if I'm Perry right now, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting Chase Silseth in the pen. I'm bringing up Kai Busch. I know you don't like that.
You're done. You're done.
I know.
You're gone.
I know. And I would.
Now the Angels are below 500 team, and they're finishing outside the playoffs. That is fine.
That does not mean that Chase Silseth, moving Chase Silseth as the pen into the pen does not do that.
It does, because Kai Busch becomes what what Reed Detmers
It's a
was
different
last year,
pitcher. No, it's a no,
5'7". They're the same guy.
no, it's a different pitcher. I'm letting
It's the
I'm
same
telling
guy.
you, it's a different pitcher.
It will be the same guy in the big leagues. It might be different in Double-A, but it will be the same guy in the big leagues. He does not need to be rushed. He's a second-round pick for a reason. Let him develop. If the Angels want to win games, they need to move Oliver Ortega back in the pen, let him pitch later in the games, move Aaron Loop up and let him pitch in the 5th, 6th innings to get out of jams, whatever it is. And they cannot put Aaron Loop in the 8th, 9th inning anymore.
That's fine. I agree with that too. I think that Loop should be like that 6th inning.
Archie Bradley can pitch in the 7th, 8th inning. Ortega can pitch in the 7th, 8th inning. Tepera probably should pitch in the 7th inning, honestly. I would love to see Ortega in the 8th and Bradley in the 8th, trying to get the ball to Iglesias in the 9th. I think Tepera, Loop, 6th, 7th inning guys. Tepera is more of a 7th inning guy in my opinion, but that's where I'm at.
I'd still like to see. I think, and at the end of the day, Chase Silseth in the pen is like the Angels actually have a nice like bullpen set up in the future, but obviously not right now. Like
does Velo even play up out of the pen?
I think it stays the same, and you have a 3 guy.
Yeah, exactly. So you might as well let him start because moving him to the pen actually doesn't even help them.
I don't disagree. I like I said, I think it's.
You just want Kai Bush in the mix. I get it, but he's a second-round pick from last year. Let him develop.
Nah, he's a second rounder out of college, by the way. It's not like
let him develop.
So we'll see. I think we see Bush.
Also, a small school. That's my biggest thing. Second rounder from a small school.
St. Mary's?
They're not a big-time program. They're not Power 5 conference. They're not a perennial powerhouse. Let him develop. Let him learn how to pitch in the minor leagues. Yes, he's developed well in Double-A. Fine, let him move to Triple-A and see how he deals with failure. When's the last time he's had to deal with failure?
I don't want any part. Well, no,
When's the last time he's had to deal with failure?
In college, he wasn't. He pitched one good year in college. I'm gonna let you know.
Okay, so that's my point. So if we're gonna call him up to the bigs and he fails, how is he going to deal with that? We don't know. So put him in AAA and find that out.
Is that the who was that? Trevor Lawrence type of thing? How's Trevor Lawrence going to deal with failure?
Yeah, he never lost.
He literally never lost from.
Never lost.
Probably never lost in his life. When you think about it, like
I think I heard he had never lost a regular season game in his life. He had only lost playoff games.
Yeah, that's damn impressive. But back onto the baseball. Yeah, no, I'm intrigued. Like the Angels just have a lot of really interesting. Like Luke Murphy,
Ortega.
Luke Murphy coming out of Vandy. That's as like big as it gets. You could bring Murphy. You could hypothetically bring Luke Murphy up when you wanted to as well. It's mid to upper 90s with a just freaking disgusting slider. I think that's going to play at the big league level if you really wanted to bring him up right now. 19 strikeouts, 1 walk in his last 18 innings.
You are paying the guys that have been struggling for the Angels in the bullpen have been the guys who get paid the most.
Yeah.
The guys who aren't getting paid that much have actually pitched really well. Jimmy Herga has pitched really well. He's pitched a lot better than we thought. Jaime Burria has been excellent. Oliver Ortega has been excellent. So they're not the problem. The problem is the guys we paid a lot of money for have not pitched well lately. So we have to find ways to get those guys to pitch well. And I think the easiest way to do that is to move the guys that we're not paying to pitch later in the game and the guys we are paying to pitch earlier in the game.
Can we both agree that like this is just panic mode setting in right now, and that
absolutely
these guys are going to be fine? Like let's just completely agree on that. But then this last like 5-minute conversation we've had is ideas of how to make the bullpen better. Because I think
I'm not sold on Ryan Tepera being okay. I think this is what he is.
Who's our boy? He'll know exactly when I call him out. He
Ryan Tepera is who he is.
Nate's right. Yeah, exactly. See, this is why we don't tell Nate that he's right ever. Nate is
who he is. I'm not.
He's had 2 bad outings, Tepera. So don't even
more than that. But okay,
you can give me 4 if you want to give me that stat.
He has 4 meltdown innings.
Meltdown innings. Yeah, he was bad his first game, and he was bad. I would say technically he was bad in this last game. He's given up runs in 4 of his 18 innings or something like that. So like he hasn't been.
That would be his 4 meltdown innings.
He hasn't been bad. But yeah, a meltdown inning is a home run for a reliever. So there's that. So let's get on to our next question here. It comes from Invasion of the Mics. I'm still trying to figure out if his name's actually Mike or not. But should the Angels be actively shopping for a top reliever? I mean, that's the question right there.
Top reliever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Depends on what inning they pitch. If they're a closer, I vote no.
Well, I'm trying to think of like top relievers that are going to
Like
be.
if this is a Craig Kimbrell situation from last year where Kimbrell was, the top reliever available, and if the Angels brought him into the fold, it would not work. Craig Kimbrell needs to close games. Raisel Iglesias needs to close games. Now, if there is a guy who has pitched in the 8th inning and had been successful, like a David Robertson or a Daniel Bard, who I had heard one of our listeners had shouted him out, Anthony, I believe. I'm blanking. Forgive me. But if you get one of those type of guys, I'm fine with it. If you're going to go get a closer like a Kenley Jansen, I'm out.
He's not available, but I get you.
He could be. The Braves aren't playing well, but I'm just saying I'd be out on those guys. I'd be in more on maybe not necessarily the biggest name, but more of the guy who fits what the Angels are looking for, and that's a guy who can get outs in the 7th or 8th inning.
That's fair. Tell your dog I said hi, by the way. But yeah, I agree. We've been preaching that for a while. We got to stick with that. The right guy, not always the best guy. And Perry and staff have done a fantastic job. In fact, listening to Joey Pravinsky, he was in Rocket City Angels player development. He preached that as well. So I mean, hey, we're on the right page with that. I don't think a lot of people have picked that up yet, but that's exactly what Joey said. Listen to him talk on the Rocket City broadcast there. So good question. Right guy, not always the best guy. Like I said, didn't need to go get Scherzer. Would have been cool, but didn't need to go get him. Instead, you go get Syndergaard and Lorenzen. And hey, those guys have been the right guys this year so far. So let's get on to, let's say this is probably gonna be our last question here, just because I'm not qualifying that question from Justin. Good try, man. I know he doesn't even listen to the podcast, but next question here comes from John W. Does the lack of swing and misses concern you? Starters besides Ohtani aren't constantly getting Ks, relying on grounders. I'll answer this one first. I think that strikeouts are a good prediction of the future, but I also don't believe that is necessarily the case. The reason why I say that is because you look at Noah Syndergaard's last start, and he wasn't sitting at his top velocity. He wasn't getting swings and misses. He wasn't striking people out, but he knew what his job was there. And we can agree on that, right? Like he started rolling, and it was like, all right, like I don't need to strike people out today. I got Andrew Velazquez and Tyler Wade and Anthony Rendon, and I'm just going to let my sinker work and do their thing. And I think he went first strikes to 22 of 27 in that game. And I think he just kind of knew what it was. I don't think you need to strike everybody out. I know you and I weren't big strikeout pitchers. Occasionally we did, but
that's why I'm not in the big leagues, though, because I don't strike out enough guys.
Yeah.
I am going to agree with you a little bit, but I'm going to disagree with you a little bit as well. I think for the young guys, I'm a little nervous with a guy like Thor, who has been – we know what Noah Syndergaard is. We've seen him before Tommy John, and we've seen him after Tommy John. He is going to be fine. Shohei Ohtani is Shohei Ohtani. He's getting his swing and misses. Reed Detmers, I am a little nervous with the non-swings and misses out of him. He's not getting too many swings and misses. Michael Lorenzen, same thing. We haven't really seen him start, so I am a little curious to see what his second half looks like. I know Angel fans have been really, really high on Michael Lorenzen, and you dig through the numbers, he has been average, maybe a little below average if you really look at some numbers. But Michael Lorenzo has been way, way, way over expectations. He has been outstanding.
Yeah,
but
we're going to see regression out of him.
He has been an average pitcher. And without the swings and misses, I am worried that his second half is going to be a lot more, finding holes, things like that. That is the biggest worry with the no strikeouts, is eventually things are going to get somewhere where it's evened out. So like Reed Detmers has had his outings where he's gone, 2 or 3 hits, no hits, and he's gotten his 2 or 3 Ks. But that's going to balance out where he has his 6 or 7 hits. And if runs are scoring in that is an issue. So I am a little worried about it from some starters. Noah Syndergaard is the one guy that I'm not worried about, because obviously his track record speaks for itself.
Yeah, and I just got to bring up Silseth, who didn't have a strikeout in his last game. Again, I think he just kind of understood the goal in a sense there. Didn't have his best stuff.
Toronto's free swinging too, and he did not have his best stuff.
Didn't have his best stuff. It'll be interesting to see what he does against Philly. I'll counter your Michael Lorenzen thing with another Moneyball quote, because since you were on Washington, I'm gonna Billy Bean. Yeah, adapt or die. So, you get what I'm saying there on that one,
Yeah,
right? You're gonna adapt.
He's got to adapt.
Yep. So, Nate, you got any final thoughts before I let everybody go?
This is going to be a fun series. Yankees, always fun to see. Angels, Yankees, always fun to be at Yankee Stadium. Really, really looking forward to it. Aaron Judge is playing out of his mind. It'll be fun to see arguably the guys who have been the two top players in baseball this year, Mike Trout and Aaron Judge.
Yeah, Aaron Judge. Right.
Get out of here. No, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge have probably been 1-2. If you were to put votes on MVPs, I think you're looking at Mike Trout and Aaron Judge being 1-2 right now. So this is going to be a fun marquee matchup.
Absolutely. It's always fun going into New York. So, guys, as always, thank you so much for listening to this podcast here at Talking Halos. I forgot to mention it early in the podcast. I apologize. Blue Wire. If you're looking to start a podcast, Blue Wire. You guys, if you could follow us wherever, actually, on all of our social media. Sorry, I'm flipping this around. Follow us on all of our social medias. You can follow myself on Twitter, @Jared_Tims. You can follow Nate at NateGreen34. You can always subscribe wherever you are listening. You can follow all of our podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.